Now, working from home, it is a very divisive issue. We all did it during lockdowns, of course, but now there is a little more evidence, or is there? A survey of 22,000 people across 11 countries conducted by Microsoft found that while 87% of workers believed that they work more efficiently at home, 80% of managers disagreed and said that home working hurts productivity. Vicky, does that surprise you? This is going to be such a source of conflict for businesses on a day that we're talking about the economy. 80% of bosses say, I want you in the office. 87% of people say, actually, I'd rather work from home. What a power shift.
The interesting thing is, how do you define productivity? And I don't think the managers have a clue what it means. I mean, what they generally have done through the ages is count whether people were in the office and whether perhaps they were pushing paper around or whatever it is. They were around to attend meetings and could see what they were doing. So we are very poor in managing people in this country. And there is no doubt that working from home has added to the work that managers have to do, because they have to somehow monitor what's going on. They have to trust people, which, of course, is what you should do in any case. And that has proved to be quite difficult for many. Not for all, because there's a small percentage there who thought that actually people were being quite productive at home. But I think there is an acknowledged failure of management capability in the UK, which has been proven by tons of academic studies, I'm afraid, by comparison to loads of other countries.
So it's almost like we need, if we're going to have working from home then, Matthew, you've got to have key performance indicators. You have to know what your goals are, and maybe that's what a lot of bosses aren't very good at.
But potentially not. I mean, it's very hard to get to grasp with a productivity issue. And there's some theories that perhaps Britain has poorly trained managers and that's a substantial drag on our productivity. On this broader point, I'm quite a fan of working from home. I enjoy the greater flexibility it gives my life. I think I'm quite productive in doing a lot of my work. At the same time, I understand that there's always a balance to be had, which is often a lot of work requires collaboration. You wouldn't want people working from home all the time. Even Microsoft, who published this poll, said the general standard is 50% working from home, 50% working from the office. I find this disagreement between the managers and their staff absolutely fascinating, because it tells you something quite fundamental. People feel like they're productive, or at least they're willing to say they're productive. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're answering the poll in the way they want to answer it, while their managers are a lot less confident that they are. And maybe that does point to this idea that presenteeism is what matters, is you just want to see someone working and then you know they're working and you get this vibe. Alternatively, people could be shirking off. People could be being lazy at home and not getting as much done, which I think is really the metric.
Distracted. It's not always that you're lazy, is it, when you're working from home? The dishwasher's there and you think, oh, I'll just put a wash on and I'll just hang it. Oh, it's a nice sunny day.
Well, otherwise you have to rush back from work and do it instead, and that's pretty not satisfying either. So, but the interesting thing is, in terms of productivity, it has been again proven in academic studies, but doing surveys and actually seeing what people are doing, that the thing that increases productivity is flexibility, which I think is what Matthew was alluding to. So if you look at working from home as adding to this flexibility, but allowing quite a lot of decision-making, if you like, to get filtered down. This is a trickle-down approach, which is by far the best way of getting things done. Finally, we found a reason to use that phrase, which actually makes sense. So you can leave that decision in terms of how you manage your time within some boundaries, obviously, because you have to produce whatever, reports or what have you, to those people, then at home, then you can actually get your productivity. But remember, so many people have no such choice.
Yeah.
But where you do have the choice, where you do have white-collar workers who can work from home, like in those big tech companies, or in banks, all those organizations that have tried to force their employees to go back have had to give up.
Yeah.
So, and establish some sort of hybrid, or have been much more flexible in what they've set up than perhaps they would have liked to.